Hi everyone, I'm Kerri with Yoga Home, and we have Wendy, Christy, and Margot here helping out today. So one of the things I'm super passionate about is helping more people find yoga. So I have a son who uses a wheelchair to get around, and he still does yoga. Right? So it doesn't, just because you may use a chair or may have limited mobility, it doesn't mean that you can't do yoga, that yoga isn't for you. Right? Yoga is just this opportunity to come into your body and develop that mind-body-spirit connection. So today what we're going to do is see some of the more common poses that we do in a yoga class and adapt them for a chair environment. So it doesn't matter if you use a wheelchair or not, right? Many people I talk with, they have more limited mobility and their fear is, I can't do yoga because I can't touch my toes. That doesn't count, right? But I can't come down into some of these postures. So we use a chair today to just adapt every asana, all right? So, first thing we're going to do is just a little bit of coming into our bodies and warming up with some breath and movement. So, the first thing, if you're in a chair, you want to get really rooted down, right? So, Christy is sort of finding these little bones that are right where she connects with the chair. And then she's also going to get really grounded down through her feet. And then Wendy and Margot are finding Tadasana. So Tadasana is this pose, right, where you're really rooted down through your feet and you're bringing all of the energy of the earth up through your body. And then you're also bringing all the energy of the heavens down through your body. Right? And this right here, so Christy, go ahead and bring your hands to your sides as well and find that Tadasana energy. So she's still getting really long through her spine, and again, crown of the head comes up towards the ceiling. Good. From here, take a big breath in. Raise your arms up overhead. And exhale, bring hands down through heart center. Good. Inhale, reach arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, down through heart center. Good. Inhale, reach arms all the way up overhead. Good. And this time, find a forward fold. So Margot and Wendy are finding a forward fold, and Christy is coming into this stretch. So in a forward fold, you want to soften your hamstrings, right? So you can come into this lower back area and really find some spaciousness here. So Christy, are you feeling some opening in the base of your back? Okay, good. So that's what we're looking for here. Same pose, just doing it slightly differently. Good. And then very slowly come all the way up to a stand. Arms can reach all the way up overhead. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Good. Inhale, take a big reach up overhead. And once more, hands down through heart center. Good. And we'll do some cat and cow rolls. So, Wendy, actually, I'm going to have you come down to your hands and knees. And Margot, if this isn't a possible option for you, coming down hands to knees, I want you to just bring your hands to your thighs and find a little bit of a forward bend here. And then Christy's going to stay in her chair here, and she's going to have hands on thighs. But no matter what position you're in, we're all going to take that cat-cow roll. So on an inhale, arc your back and look up. And then exhale and round your spine. Good. Inhale, lift and look up. And exhale, round. Good. So 3 different options here, depending on what works for your body. One more. In and look up. And exhale, round. Good. And then just return to a neutral spine. Good. Margot, I'm going to have you stand all the way up. Wendy, I'm going to have you sit in a cross-legged position. Good. So depending on whatever is the best option for you. Good. And then I'm going to have you inhale, reach your arms all the way up overhead. Good. Interlace your fingers and steeple the pointer fingers. And no matter where you are. So right now, Margot's going to root down through her legs. And Christy's going to root down through her hips as well as her legs. And Wendy's going to root down through her hips and her legs as well. Same thing. Good. And then everybody take a breath in and lean over to the right. Good. And again, you're just opening up through the side of your body here. Right? Same thing, just different options. And a lot of breath here. Good. And then inhale, come back up through center. And go over to the left. That looks great. Good. Again, still rooting down to what's connected to the earth. And then finding lots of length. Good. Come back up through center. Good, hands down through heart center. Good, Wendy, I'm going to have you stand up again, and we're going to come into Warrior 2. So one of the more common poses we do are this Warrior series. So Margot and Wendy are going to come into Warrior 2. You guys can just face the middle there. Good. And now for Christy, you're going to come in and take your right leg out. Good. Left leg reaches long behind you. Good. And she's still supported on the chair here. And she's still going to ground through this back leg, though, right? So lots of energy coming up through here. Right, and take your arms out long. So even though she's using the chair, she can still find this posture. Good. And let's add a little bit of movement to this. So take your back arm, whichever one it is, and find a big circle to open up. So circle down and up and around. Good, and down and up and around. Good, and maybe you can even get your whole body into it and lean forward a little bit as you make these circles. Beautiful. Good, and then find that Warrior 2 after this position again. Good, and come back to center. Nice. And then we'll just switch sides. Find it on the opposite side. You always want to even things out here, right? So finding that good, strong Warrior 2 position. And Wendy's so strong here. Look how deep she is in this front thigh here. But she can do that because she's supporting just as much through this back leg. And these muscles are really lifting up. Good, and then go ahead and add a little bit of movement here. So finding those big circles. Good. Good, and next time you circle around, find stillness. Good, and then come back through center. Good. So another common pose that we do in yoga is chair pose, right? In my classes, I like to hold it for 5 minutes. No, just kidding, right? Because it is a very intense pose. You have many muscle groups that are firing up with this. So just because Christy is sitting in a chair doesn't mean that I'm sitting in my chair and I'm doing chair pose, right? She's going to root down through her feet like crazy. And go ahead, Margot and Wendy, go ahead and drop down into chair. So sink hips back. Good. Arms come up overhead. And Christy's going to take the same little bit of a lean forward here. But she's going to think about sinking her hips low. And even though the chair is there for support, she's still working. So are these muscles right here fired up? Yes. Good. And then you want to open up more through your collarbones. Yeah. So Margot just found a little bit more of opening through her chest here by bringing her shoulders together. And your pinkies might even spiral inwards. Good. Take a big breath in here. Good. And then exhale, forward fold. Good. So that's one of those intense poses, chair pose, right? Just because you're sitting in a chair doesn't mean that it's any less intense. Good. And then come all the way back up through center. Good. You guys feel good? Yes. Cool. All right, so let's close with a little intention setting. Probably the most important part for me. Inhale, take a big reach all the way up overhead. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Good. Close your eyes. And this is that opportunity for you to really set your intention. Right? Decide what it is that you want to invite in. When you have that locked in, take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Good, blink your eyes open. And that's it. Thanks all. Again, I'm Kerri at Yoga Home. Keep watching for lots of helpful hints.